Looking at them? If you're not, I'd like to know, just because it's just interesting to know. I mean, if it's helping you or if it's not helping you, what you would do differently. Okay, so I'm going to go to Illustrator and I'm going to locate my logo here, my own logo, and I want to bring this into InDesign. So currently, if I do a file save as, and I see that it is a Illustrator file, an AI file, I will save it as such. And apparently I've already done that, and yes, I'm putting it in the Zodiac art file, which is in my documents folder. Okay, just making sure I know what I'm doing here. All right. And click OK. Now, InDesign, having some weird thing where this has been happening, that my application install is damaged, but it still runs, so I'm not too worried. For some reason, I think that I'm above that. It's like, it's not going to break. It's not. It's fine. I will get around to that, but just not right now. That started yesterday after I emptied the trash of what I thought was a lot of safe things to throw away because my hard drive was getting really full. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file. File new. And I'll create a new document, and I'll create a 3-page document with not facing pages, and this is a lot of margin there, a ½ an inch. You know, I don't know if I really need that much. I'm just going to give myself here less than a ½ an inch, about that much. All right, click OK, and then I'm going to go and put a block in here of color and fill this block up with a color. Any color here, blue. All right, now I'm going to place my artwork on top of it. So I'm going to click away, make sure nothing is selected. Usually in that case, I would make this layer be called background. And then on top of that, create another folder and call this one art. There might be more than one art layer. They might have more specific names than art. And on this background layer, I'm going to lock it, and I'm going to make sure I've targeted the art layer, and I'm going to go File, Place, Command D, and I'm going to go to my documents, into my Zodiac Art Start folder, and get that AI file, and click Open. And when I do so, I get this little PDF marker thingy. When I click and drag, because it's vector and there was nothing behind it, it acts exactly how I want it to be, which is to have a transparent background and beyond blue. But when I look up at it, I'm like, ick, what the heck? Why does that look so scary? Well, the reason why is under View, there is a thing called Display Performance, and here is a thing called High Quality Display. And when you choose that and then you zoom in on it, then it is not ooey anymore. That is the setting of making it nicer. However, if you work with this mode on, you will likely it'll get slower and slower, and it could crash your computer depending on how fast or slow your computer is. So under View, Screen Mode, Display Performance and Screen Mode, Display Performance, now it's going to be on Typical. And if you are like doing a huge giant publication with tons and tons of images on every page, you often will need to put it into the Display Performance as Fast Typical, so that you can quickly go through pages without seeing the images, have to paint in for each page, and you might have to skip like 35 pages and not want it to suck up all that time doing that. And then when you get to that page that you want, then again you would come under here and Display Performance and turn it on to Typical, so that you can see what you're doing. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. That should make a big difference. So because Illustrator is vector based, this image, when dropped into InDesign, will have the best quality that it can have, and no matter what, you size it and resize it and size it and resize it, and that vector quality makes this what is known as, and I know we talked about it earlier on in the course, like the first evening, that makes it vector, that makes it resolution independent. Vector artwork is resolution independent. So if I scale this, scale, baby. Why you no scale? All right, scale. All right, now it looks horrible, but again, if we go to View, Display Performance, High Quality, what do you know? It is smooth, no problems, okay? So just remember that your vector art is always going to be smooth. Now, there are times, many times, when you still need to bring in artwork that is not vector, that is bitmap or pixel-based. Hence, you may have issues with cutting out backgrounds of things, fitting things where you want to, etc. All right, I'm going to come back to this debacle I'm making of this InDesign file in a little while. I'm just going to save it, File, Save As, and these are placement tests. All right, so I'll save that one. Stop recording.